Hello, everyone. So, I've noticed that some topics are just way too hard to talk on camera about. So, I think I'm trying it this way. So, today I would actually like to talk about the red flags I chose to ignore and the hardest words I had to deal with. So, again, I met a 44-year-old. Well, he was 34, turning 44 when I met him. And we had been talking for 3 months before we even met in person. We had all these conversations about triggers and the things that hurt us the most and how people are dealing with each other. We agreed on so many things. We got along so well, and yeah. I took him on a free vacation that would have cost him easily €1,500, and that would not include the car rental. And basically, for an entire year, I was waiting for something to come back. He would constantly talk about we're going on trips. For my birthday, he actually gifted me a trip, which I never got. But yeah, there were more things. Yeah, one of the triggering things for me was people not responding in a proper time manner. Meaning, I think it's okay if you leave like 5 hours. I mean, everyone is somehow busy or working or whatever. But if it's more than like 8 or 10 hours, it's just a little inappropriate, especially when you're supposed to be in a relationship. That's just my opinion. Maybe your opinion is different. But I mean, at least once a day, you should be texting with your significant other, especially when you live 4 hours away from each other. And he would always say, oh, I have my phone very always close to me because of my diabetes and my insulin pump. But that changed pretty quickly. And it's an irony because as soon as he's further away from his phone actually makes sounds because of the connection of his insulin pump. It later turned out a little bit annoying. One time we were actually working, and I went to the changing room, and his phone was like constantly making noise, and I was asked, whose phone is that? Whose noise is that? And I was like, you need to turn off your phone or something, or bring it closer to you. But yeah, so things changed. One of the things that I should have noticed and paid more attention and put more weight on is was that when I left stuff at his place, it was always in a different place, different spot, different folded, different tied up, different. It was always different. I did hide a couple of things in his place. I wonder if he's ever going to find them. Oh, he's probably going to find some stuff and wonder, where does this come from? And just not know. Yeah, there were gifts in his place. Yeah. This is not in order, but you know what's crazy? The breakup was like a 20 minutes phone call, and then there was absolutely zero contact for 6 weeks. And then my best friend basically begged him for a conversation where we had a 1.5 hour talk. And I had this list of like, I think it was like 40 questions. And one of the questions that was the roughest was, what was the biggest lie you told me? Remember, we started talking in February 2023, and I'm talking now about a conversation in April of 2024. Oh no, it wasn't April, it was mid of March, mid-end March, and of 2024. And I asked him, what was the biggest lie you ever told me? And then he was like, oh, last summer when my ex was here for 2 months, she wasn't there for 2 months. She was only here for 1 month, and I was on vacation for a week. And I was like, where'd she go? And he's like, let me see, where did I go? It was like he was enjoying it. Like the way he said it, I was just so in shock that I just kept on asking more questions. And that is honestly, that just shows that's when he started playing. He probably was playing all along from the early beginning. But like acting that way and being like, oh, where did I go? And then later finding out there were multiple girls, that he was probably on vacation with it multiple times. That's what I've been told. How can a 44-year-old man be like this? And this is honestly why this has been the most awful man in my life. Because at 44, you should just know better how to treat people. Like if a 25-year-old cheats on you, lies to you, whatever, he's not grown up, he's immature, he's just a child. But as a 44-year-old, ruining someone's emotions, feelings, ripping someone the carpet underneath away, just like that, while my dad was with organ failure and 60 liters waters in his body in surgery. He ignored me for 24 hours and then made me believe he was like in a mental institution, that he was in a day clinic. But a week later, he was in Amsterdam and Edinburgh with his 20-year-old best friend, who's 24, 20-year-old younger best friend. And like, what kind of monster is that? How can you be like that? And then he told me he was in the clinic again, and he was excused because his dad also had organ heart surgery or failure and stuff. Yeah, that's when I was driving 4 hours back and forth to his house sending him a care package because I thought he was struggling. Because he told me in the last 6 months 3 times that he was struggling and standing by a bridge and thinking about jumping. You know, this is like gaslighting on like its highest, narcissistic behavior on its finest. Like, it's just insane how someone can purposely hurt someone. And I've been always a fragile and sensitive person. It's always those 3 months, like the first 3 months were okay, and then it just goes down the drain. But at this point, I believe he was just playing all along. And I mean, it was actually really obvious, and I just didn't want to see it because I wanted to believe in it, and everyone around me as well. Everyone, all my friends and my parents were like, yeah, we saw you struggling last summers, but we so wanted to believe in him, and he was so nice. Everyone thought he was nice, but that's what covert narcissists are, right? They're nice. Everyone likes them. Imagine someone comes at you, shakes your face and says, don't let these men mess you up. He knows he's good looking. His wife already ran away from him because she couldn't deal with him anymore. I was told there were so many girls. It's just, how can a human be like that? It's like, yeah, he got a free vacation. He got a Black Forest trip. He got so much out of me. I didn't get anything. Like, we went to the lake, to Starnberger Lake. We drove in my car. I drove. And it was ridiculously fucking hot. And he made me walk forever down this road to nowhere. He was like, there's a beach. It was like a closed beach, but yeah, I was just really struggling that day with the heat. That was really bad. Yeah, he wasn't a kind man. He pretends to be kind, and it's just crazy. It's just insane crazy. But one person also told me, was like, yeah, I really think this guy's really, really, really messed up, and he knows exactly what he did to you. That was harsh too. Yeah. But I'm dealing with things. I'm working on things. And I mean, if you would see me, everyone thinks I'm a fucking model. I mean, I don't like being that skinny, and I don't feel comfortable, but the attention I get in a positive way is just sick out there. It's like, dear world, learn to learn what's normal. Nothing is normal. It's just, well, I'm sure there's going to be more things that will come to my mind, what was awful, and triggers, and the things that I should notice. Oh, I remember one story. That was something that was really, whew. So one of the first times I went to visit him, he took me to a couple of bars and restaurants, and we went to this really, really, this basement bar, like a rocker bar, old, nostalgic, whatever. Reminds me of like the old days. So we go down the stairs, actually talk to the door guy to begin. The door guy is like, "Is this your sister?" And you're like, this is like really weird. Like, he's a tall, skinny ginger, and I'm a brunette, dark brunette. And I was okay. We were both skinny, so maybe that was it. But my first thought literally went like, how many girls is he taking there that he's making jokes like that? So we go down the stairs, and there's in hand size his name, like cut into the wall. And I'm like, I look at it, and I look at him, and in my head it's like, is this about you, or is this about your wife, still wife? And he's like, oh, my friends did this as a joke. And I like, walk down the stairs, and like all these walls are like, there's names on all these walls. And I was like, okay, what is happening here? I was like, this must be a fuckboy. Inside, I was like, well, CJ, at least enjoy the ride. Try to enjoy the good times, because as you know, they never last long enough. So yeah, it did turn out people cut in the walls the names of the people they fucked with. So who knows? Is it about him, which is most likely, or about his now ex-wife? I don't know. But yeah, that was a red flag too, I would assume. But a couple of days later, I'm not sure if it was a couple of days later or was it the next trip. I'm actually thinking sure it was the next trip. He came to me, we spent time at my place, and then another part I spent at his place. And we went out with a couple of the guys that worked at his favorite pub. And we were sitting outside. I was alone with his 20-year-old younger buddy. And we were talking about work and jobs in general. And I just told him, oh, it's easy for me to like pick up work in any city, basically in Europe. And then he was like, why would you do that? It's not like you're together. And I fucking froze. I'm so upset with myself that I froze. I should have called him out right away, but instead I was trustful in my boyfriend, and which I thought was my boyfriend. But at that time it was kind of like, let's see. I was a little off, I think. I don't know if he noticed, but it was really on my mind. So we went to another bar, and this guy is like all over us, super funny, super talkative. And he's like, oh, is this your boyfriend? And I'm like, I don't know, you should ask him. And then he's like, is this your girlfriend? And he's like, yeah. And then I smiled at him, and I kissed him, and he looked a little bit confused. And I was calmed, but I did later tell him what his buddy said. And he got really angry, and he was like, he did that before. He can't see me happy. And like, it was so weird. Like, he really lost his shit. So he was like, I'm gonna talk with Buddy. Like, he did that with the last girl I dated, and da 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 da. And I was like, oh, whoa, he's really angry. No, no. I think he was angry. Buddy was giving me hints. And that's what another girlfriend of me later on said. She's like, don't be so mad at Buddy. Even if he was rude to you all the time, which he totally was, he probably did that to give you hints. Willingly or unwillingly, maybe it's his character. You never know. Fucking rude character. It's like, no wonder he doesn't get much tips working. Like, his face expression, like, he needs to learn how to be, like, smiley and nice at work. That's how you get tips. If you ever watch this, listen to my advice. Like, honestly, you go to a table and you introduce yourself, like, hey, I'm this and that person. And you smile, and that will already cheer the people up. But, yeah, you're 24 years old. You're going to learn. it's just, it's hard. You think a 44-year-old man would not do stuff like that anymore. And it was an entire year where he played me and lied to me and lied to me and lied to me. And honestly, all people ever tell me is like, this person will never really be happy. This is a person that will always lie. It's a person that won't change, especially at 44. This is a narcissist, and it's an irony because he would always tell me how much of a narcissist his mother was. Like, I only ever talked to his mom and dad very briefly, but they seemed really, really nice people, and I don't know. I mean, it all seems nice from the outside, we all know that, but like the way he talked about his mother, he was like, oh, I'm on first name base with the people in the hospital, because my mom constantly has to go to the hospital, and how embarrassing it is. And another story is like he told me he didn't talk to his parents or his family for 2 years because his therapist told him. And then he kind of never talked to the therapist. On 2 years went by. It's like, what the hell happened? What did you do? He never told me. Yeah. There's probably so much behind this person that I don't know, and everyone keeps on telling me, you're lucky you got away. Who knows what kind of person that's even worse that you haven't seen? I mean, it is just crazy. I wonder if, like, all these stories he told me about his wife, ex-wife, whatever the truth is, if that's true, because he also made her seem like one of the most horrible person in the world. But at this point, I think he's actually the horrible person. It's sad. It's sad that people ruin other people's life, hurt other people, just for fun, for their enjoyment. And I just hope for karma. I always hope for karma, and I hope karma lets me watch a little bit. Or at least someone tells me what happened. Karma is your friend. The thing is, with all the bad shit happening to me, I just keep on thinking, damn, my karma, bam, a prince must be walking in to me someday. Swipe me away and be actually real. Like, honestly, for once, like, a man that actually loves a woman, like, actually seeing that, go outside in this world. It's so rare. And don't pay attention to, like, the things you see when you're out with the people. Like, don't pay attention, like, oh, look, he's always opening the door for a girl, whatever. No, none of this shit means anything. It really is how that person treats the person all the way around. And the sad thing is, I didn't have good examples. Like, I never really seen men treating females really, really good. So I let so much slide. And he was really good at, like, pretending to be such a good guy. If he was such a good guy, he would have kept all his promises. I mean, like I said, one of the first conversations we had was about relationships ending in closure. And he would tell me that the one girl he dated, since his marriage was over, that he sat down with her 2 or 3 times and answered every question and wanted her to be able to move on and know that it's not about her because he said he wasn't ready. But he also told me that when they were out, he could never even go to the bathroom. Like, she would, like, go to the bathroom, wait in front of a door or whatever. Like, he could never leave her alone. Like, he couldn't talk to his friends. Like, she would just always be, like, by his side. And he was like, that was, like, really crazy. And maybe I was, like, too much of the opposite for him, because I'm not a jealous person, because I think if you're jealous, you're just pushing the other person to do something stupid. And I thought I showed him enough, but I mean, if someone is just playing and just loves hurting people, they'll do anything, right? Well, that's it for today. Not a happy video, but I hope you like and subscribe and follow my story, how I'm healing and hopefully finding my Prince Charming.